From there, she's calming, I'm walking, I'm lifting. I mean, it was quite interesting until we met, and then I kamsalimia, kamwangalia, nikamwambia I love you.
Wow.
Nikaona, nikama amestuka, nikamwambia with the love of the Lord. And then I ran away.
You know those days, some words were like a taboo. They were
it wasn't
things like sex, things like I love you, things.
They were not public.
They were not easy to verbalize.
And I think also they were there, but in our circles.
Yes. Yes. It was not just a casual thing.
There.
I'd say I love you. Like nowadays, it is in the street.
My name is Bishop Sam Mayingi. I'm serving with Christian Church International, that is CCI. Our branch is called Saints Restoration Center. We are at Roy along Kangundo Road here in Nairobi. I'm born again. I thank God for making me a servant. And I'm married to this beautiful lady. Yep.
Yeah, my name is Pastor Millicent. I also serve under CCI in Juska, and I thank God. And this is my husband.
And this is our love story. I grew up in the village, and that's where I did my primary. I did my high school, and after that I still stayed in the village because I didn't get good marks to take me to university that time. So I was there for about 3 years. Then I came to the city, 1992 and 1992, but I got college 1993. That's the time I made Nairobi like to be my place now, because I got college, I was admitted, and at that time I was looking for church because in the village I was very much involved in the work of the ministry. So I didn't know which church to get because it was a new place, but that was my desire, get a good church. And later my big brother and my sister-in-law, they helped me to go to get a church that was in the neighborhood where that is my sister-in-law. Her sister was fellowshipping at that moment. So we went, and I liked the church. It was small though. They were also beginning. There were about 40 members. And that's where I found Millicent. Now I'm calling her Pastor Millicent, my wife. I found her there being a worship leader. They had just started the year before. She was a praise and worship team, and they were with another sister, close friends. For like a year, I was just a new member, so no interactions at all. But after a year, I was involved now in the youth ministry because the church was quite small. Anybody new was being absorbed. That is where we met.
I also joined the church he has talked about in 1991 because that's the time I got saved. Immediately after high school, and then I joined that church, and I served there, and that is where we met. We met with him because I had also come straight from school and from Ushago. So that is where we met. We met with him, and we didn't immediately become friends, but we just served together. He was in the choir, I was also in the choir. So we interacted, and I think that's where our journey started.
It was quite interesting how I approached Millicent, because she was a very serious Christian. I was very serious Christian. So both of us started admiring each other, but we were afraid of each other. We didn't know whether this person will go that way, that story. Or so I found myself in the worship team. She was in the worship team. I'm in choir. She's in choir. I'm in evangelism. She's in evangelism. So we're interacting a lot. But I was not intent. She looked like she's been in the city for some time, more than myself, because her mom was residing around in the city. So she had stayed here for some time. But myself, I was fresher from the village. So I didn't know really how I would go about it. But after, if I would take you back a bit, when I was coming from the village, I had a relationship, you know. I had a relationship, so I was not excited to meet these city girls. Sikuwa na waamini kabisa. Tena unaona ni kama hawajaokoka vizuri. Nimeokoka kule ushago bana. Kule, and you know those times there were no mobile phones. And the lady I was relating with, she was fine. She was in college. I'm also in Nairobi, and even before I came to Nairobi, she was in another county. So that kind of communications, until you meet or write a letter, there was not too much interaction. So I just came, my mind being hooked up to that lady. But when we were serving together, 1993, 94, 95, there was nothing until around 96. 96, she told me that we cannot continue. I think I made a mistake. She came around and saw the place I was living, the job I was doing. I didn't know what made her just feel, no, it can't work. So when she told me that is when I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I've been with so many sisters around, preaching with them, leading the church meetings with them, but I didn't have any interest because I have a friend. But now that is the time I'm left. I don't know who the people I've been looking around. I've been brushing them, judging them, feeling they are town guys. They are not serious with the Lord. So that is the time I started praying about it. And it was so interesting for me to get interested to somebody whom we have been with all through, you know, because I'm like, but this person I've been with. Because the only thing that would make me not even to be interested mostly was, number one, the city issue. I didn't think girls in the city could be serious with salvation. Number two, the tribe issue. Most of them were not from my tribe, so I didn't think you would get. And also I had a caution from my big bro: don't marry this tribe, who was like my daddy, because we lost our daddy long time ago. So I was in a big dilemma. But now when I prayed, this is the person that came to me, and I started getting attracted to her, because now I'm not only seeing her as a fellow minister, but I'm seeing her as a friend now, and I'm looking for a friend. So I'm like, it's not possible, because she's the kind of a person my brother told me not to. She's from Central. My brother told me not to marry anybody from Central. He had ever worked in Thika for 13 years. So he said, we are 3 brothers. He said nobody should marry a girl from that place. So I didn't want to talk to her. So I kept on praying, but I gave God some kind of conditions that, God, if this one goes through, I will know you are in it. And so, you see, God is faithful. Number one, I told God if she will be accepted by my family. Number two, if my pastor will be okay, because he knows her more than I do. So I really believed, and up to date I still believe in my pastor. You know, though I'm a bishop, I still have a bishop who is my pastor. And then number 3, I really believed so much in God speaking. So whenever I prayed for things, God would minister to me, God would reveal, God would confirm. So I prayed that God would speak to me and confirm this kind of a feeling I'm having of late. Is it lust? Is it temptation? Or is it really God leading me to this girl? And I went ahead. Number 1, I went and talked to my pastor before I talked to her. And I told my pastor, then it's late, Bishop James Mungania. I told him I'm interested with one of your girls whom you know more than I do. And so I don't know what to do. So he asked me which girl. I told her Millicent. And then this man, I didn't know he had visited her in her place of work. And he asked her, my daughter, are you planning, have you gotten a brother? And then she told her, not yet. And then my pastor used to call me my surname, Kimuli. That's my dad's name. So the pastor asked her, what about Kimuli? And then she said, what did you say?
That time I said, no, I have not thought about him, because he's, to me, he's just a boy.
Of course, I looked so young. I was small. So she said, that's a young boy. Yeah. And Bishop, at that time, her pastor didn't insist, yeah. Just left it there. So I'm here now telling the pastor, I'm interested in one of your girls. She's so-and-so. And she's like, oh, but he didn't tell me. He told me, I've been praying because this girl has a burden for the Lord. I've been praying that she may get somebody who also has a burden to serve the Lord. And I like your passion for the kingdom. So for me, it's yes. So you see now I'm 1 out of 3. I have a tick on that. So I went to the next one, and I was like, now my bro was, as I said earlier, we lost our daddy long time ago. So he was our father. Whatever he said, it was like Jesus saying it in our family. You would not change it. So this man told me clearly, no marrying from Central. And I don't know why he never said any other tribe. And personally, I was not even interested with other tribes besides also Kikuyus and people from Central. So I didn't know what to tell him. Now, she used to visit me with one of my relatives because I was staying with my brother. And whenever they visited us with those other sisters. They became very tight with my nieces and nephews, the children of my bro. And kind of my brother and my sister-in-law, they loved us so much, I had not noticed by then. So one time, my sister asked me, are you interested with so-and-so? Ujapata msichana? Nikamwambia, no, I have not yet gotten. Akaniuliza, what about so-and-so? She said, now Millicent. Now, because they had said I shouldn't marry Kikuyu, I just told her, Millicent has another guy called so-and-so. I just mentioned one of our brothers in the church to make her and make them go off that line completely. So later, they talked, and then they told me, we want to talk to you. I told my brother, it's okay. So I went in one of the evenings, we were talking, and my brother told me, I told you that no man should marry from Central in our family. And he said, and this should still remain as a law in this family. So nikajua hiyo imeenda. Imeenda kabisa. So when he said that, he said, but Millicent is not a Q. She's a sister in the Lord. She has different character and qualities of life. So if you are interested with her, we love her so much. I mean, I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. But in my heart, I'm like, yes, Lord, that's another tick. The other thing was, because that time I was very young, I also looked small, as she said, I'm just a boy. I thought she's older than me. So when I asked her age, I found we are age mates. We just same year, almost same month. So I'm like, okay, maybe God is leading me to her. We are still preaching. We are still going to church meetings. We are still, I'm escorting her now for whatever. Then later it was one remaining. God had not spoken. And I'm so much addicted to God leading me to things, hearing his voice, or using somebody telling me, the Lord, I was praying, the Lord said this to me, something like that. I really believe in that, confirmation of what I'm doing. So I'm like, everybody is confirming minus God, and you know God is supreme. That time after my brother has given me a go ahead, I went ahead now and approached her, and I'll tell you how it went. So, but let me fast forward on how the Lord confirmed. We had just visited, because we had already approached her, we have started dating. We went to visit a couple, friends of ours in the church. And then when we went to visit that couple, I arrived earlier. So when I got into the house, their mother was there. I didn't know she was a prophetess, a woman of God. We had never met. So in Kariobangi South, where we used to live, all brethren then used to call me my surname, Kimuli. So even this couple knew me as Kimuli. So when I entered in that house, this lady told that couple, Frank, this is Kimuli. And she said, Kimuli, listen to me. God has blessed you with a wife, and she's called Millicent. I've never had such a thing in my life. And I'm like, oh, maybe these guys have discussed me with this lady. And they are like, wow, this is amazing. And as we were actually going to tell them about our relationship, because we also needed some support from them. So this lady, by the time she's finishing telling me she's called Millicent, she's coming in. She has just knocked and she's coming. She said, look, this is the wife. And I'm like, okay, now God, I surrender. So that's how it was. But even when I was afraid, worried, didn't know what to do, what to say, she also got a conviction, but you know, she could not approach me then. We didn't have that orientation of ladies approaching men. So, what was happening?
Okay, for me, even before the issue of marrying, I had prayed God, because I'm brought up by a single mom. And I didn't want to lead that life. So I had prayed God, and I told God that in the course of time, I would like you to bless me with a husband. And now in that journey, I was also very cautious and very careful. And also I had my principles, what kind of a man that I want. And the most of all is somebody who is born again and a God-fearing person. By then, there were no the issues that we have today. If somebody is saved, is saved. And if it is fearing God, it is not like today that you're not certain about somebody who can tell you they are born again and yet they are not. Maybe they have just hidden in salvation for their own interest. So in the course of prayer, and when now the late bishop came, I started now looking him in another perspective, and somehow I got some conviction that he is the man. But you see, like what he has said, that you cannot tell him. So when he came, okay, I took some time to tell him yes, but deep within me, I had a lot of peace. But now again, about the issue of tribe was also an issue even to our place. But apparently, when I went to my mom, okay, because of I think I had said that I came from Ushago. The reason why I said that it is because I schooled in Ushago, but I used to come every holiday. I used to come to Nairobi, so I can't call that I'm a Bontao. So I was not close to my mom in a way that I could just go and broke that news just like that. Ni ile ya kujipanga, so that you can meet with your mom to tell her that news. So it didn't happen the first time. I went the first time and I was not able to tell her because number one, I'm not close to her. We don't have a bond in a way that I can just disclose anything anyhow.
Number two, the man is not even marketable.
The man is just there.
Is not working.
He's not working, has nothing, ana kakitu, you know. And, you know, Kikuyu with
and that time
money.
She was working.
Yes. So I went the second time and I was not able also to imagine to break the news. But I went to the third time now after praying about breaking the news to my mom. And when I told my mom, she didn't oppose. She didn't oppose. She said, it is okay. Because unajua hatukuwa na zile mizaha za kuleta wanaume wengi. So she had never ever saw me with a man. So she knew that this is serious. And now I even booking an appointment to tell her this must be serious. So I didn't receive any opposition at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was quite trying for her because marketing me, it was quite tricky. I was not working, she was working. She had money, I didn't have money. I had just finished college and I did fine art in college. So the kind of job the kind of training I did, you get out of college and now you are looking for outdoor advertising. I worked for 1 year. It was not well paying. I decided to start doing juakali, doing signboards here and there. In fact, the mother saw me the first time when she had given me some work to paint her salon.
Yeah.
So when I was doing the painting and the drawing, doing the signages, is when and then she was making the hair of the mother. She told the mother, by the way, that guy is here today. Now the mother is like, okay. Sasa hiyo nimemaliza kumpaintia na kumchorea, nimepata jobs hapo kwa hiyo market. Nachora shop ingine huko, nimebaa kabuti, marangi. And then she tells her,
that is the man.
Yule fundi. The mother didn't say anything. So that's how it went. But now coming to how I approached her in the and break the news to her, that is to my wife. We were just in the church, and to see now God has confirmed through my bro, God has confirmed through the age, God has confirmed by my pastor. So I was having a lot of confidence to talk to her. But namzindikisha tukimaliza church, tukimaliza ibada, I escort her to stage, anapanda matatu, narudi, sijamwambia kitu, and she would go and cry and tell God, oh, it's like you lied to me. Then sasa nikaacha kumfikisha stage, namfikisha stage, tunaingia gari, tunaenda town.
Imagine.
Anapanda sasa, anaenda Kawa West, mimi narudi Sao, bado simwambii kitu, tunaongea tu mambo ya mvua, missions. And then ikafika mahali nampeleka stage, tunapanda gari, tunaenda Tao, tunatoka town, tunaenda Kawa West, simwambii kitu, narudi tena peke yangu.
It's a funny man.
You know, it's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. One,
Yeah.
you don't want to make mistake. two, you don't also the kind of level, the lifestyle and the respect we had for each other. You think this person may even blast you because she's preaching, she's the one leading the services. I'm also leading the service. We are too serious for life. So later I said, now today this pressure is too much. I have to tell her. So I think I had come from, our church was in a school. So I had come, I think, from washrooms, and then she was coming from the main sanctuary. And when she's coming from the main sanctuary, there was a very huge corridor from the main sanctuary and the washrooms. So when I came out of the side of the washrooms, I was now on the pathway of the big corridor. She appeared on the other side alone.
Showtime.
So now it was slow motion. From there, she's coming, I'm walking, I'm lifting. I mean, it was quite interesting until we met, and then I kamsalimia, kamwangalia, nikamwambia I love you.
Wow.
Nikaona ni kama amestuka, nikamwambia with the love of the Lord. And then I ran away.
You know those days, some words were like a taboo. They were like,
it wasn't
things like sex, things like I love you, things.
They were not public.
They were not easy to verbalize.
And I think also they were there, but in our circles.
Yes. Yes. It was not just a casual thing. I'd say I love you. Like nowadays, it is in the street. No, it was not like that. It was a serious thing. So when somebody says I love you,
they have to explain.
Yes. For me, I have said deep within myself, I had a confirmation. But again, I don't want to stay like, or him to see like I was just there waiting. No, I also want to play hard. So I could not go ahead of time. So when those days, brotherly love was common.
Yeah.
Like you can be with the brothers and there's nothing. There's nothing. So I still could singejijazia ya kwamba ati ananipenda ama anataka kuoa. Hapana, mpaka atoke nayo. Yes, he has to come with it. But can I shock you? When he said I love you, nikaingiwa na kiwoga kingine. Like now I want to deny, I want to repel. Sasa I got into prayers.
It became serious.
Yeah, it became serious.
Yeah.
Like I'm also in denial. Ninataka kukubali lakini ni kama niko hapo kuna ka resistance kidogo hivyo. So I went also to pray. Because if there is something I had told God, it is to make a mistake in marriage. To make a mistake. So you see, there are so many things to consider, so many things to, to check. So I went into prayer. I also prayed, and also the things that he has talked about, the confirmation. I'm also I'm part of it. But I also I sing a mini 100% that kabisa ni huyu. Kuna ile unasikianga ni kweli si kweli, ni kweli ni kweli. But sasa nikaingia bado kwa maombi. I also involved somebody else to pray with me. And then now I started now a journey of accepting. So ilikuwa ina dawn every day I have a different feeling towards him. Ya sasa to acceptance. Wow, I was the first one to do a wedding in our family, and it's something that I had prayed for, because I had not witnessed. I didn't witness any in our family. So I had told God, mimi ninataka kuvaa hiyo nguo ya white. Yes. So it was very exciting.
Not only nuclear family, but even the extended family.
Yes, yes. So for me, it was just awesome. It was awesome, even to when I was going to make for, I'm imagining I'll be in this dress. Oh, I was feeling good. And again, those days, they were celebrated by even the villagers.
Weddings were for everybody.
For everybody, not invite only like nowadays. When there's a wedding in a village, wow, kila mtu. So I knew that I will be the kid in the block. I will be celebrated. Yes. So I was feeling good. I was feeling good about it.
The most interesting thing, I think I have a very funny character. I don't know how to show my feelings.
Emotions.
I don't know how to express my emotions. I hardly cry during funerals or after I lose somebody. What I do most is thinking, but not. I'm not an emotional person. When I'm too happy, you may not know. When I'm too sad, you may not know. It's another problem by itself. So, secondly, marrying her to me was like a dream. The whole thing, the wedding, everything, I was just like a robot. I was just like, it had really carried me too much that I was, can you imagine, you are like numb. You don't have feelings. Number one is because you are not starring, you are not calling, and you're also not calling shots. I want to take you back to my preparations for the marriage. Now, I've gone, the first day I'm going with the guy who was supposed to be my best man. Nataka kumpeleka kule. Of course, that guy knew her. They used to sing together before I joined the church. So that couple was the one to be our best couple. So we are going the first time. Ile kusema, msichana amesema, chali yangu anakuja leo, mumuone, mumuone na fulani. So, in my place, the first day when you are going to be seen, it's not a big thing, because you are not even accepted. So you just go with I'm from the village. You go with a paper bag or, That is a Kikuyu. Me, I don't know. That guy is a Marian, so at least he had an idea, and he's married to a Kikuyu. So he asked me, by the way, tunaendaje? Nikamwambia si tunaenda hivi raunda, alafu tutoke raunda tuingie gari. I'm just talking, and he's opening his mouth, he's looking at me like, what are you talking about? Furthermore, I don't even have any money. So I'll how are we going? Nikamwambia tutapanda hivi tufike raunda, alafu ndio tuteremke ama tuingie hizo mat tuende. Naona akiniangalia kama mtu amelost, nashindwa what is the problem? Ama ujui hiyo barabara, ama hizo mat uzijui. The guy was just annoyed with me. Thank God he's my friend. He just kept quiet, looked for money, did big shopping, then we went with him. Oh, I told him, you people carry things. I'm like, okay, I'm just going like a robot. I went. Of course, we are being accepted because we have come with big shopping. They don't know there is no coin of mine. And after that, I come and tell my bro, by the way, Millicent, we chose blah, blah, blah. I want to get married to her. He's very excited. He's telling me, don't worry, I'm there for you. Kutoka hapo ananipigianga tu simu, niaje nimetoka kwa kina fulani, nimepeleka sijui nini mimi hata sijui siku ya kupeleka marurasho is everything, hakuna kitu mimi niko nayo, brother anatafuta mabeste nini. Pre-wedding, at least pre-wedding, that one I caught my friends, pastors, my family friends, people we used to preach with. They gave us some coins, and we were able to do. And most of our friends actually sponsored our wedding. They were excited about us so very much, so we didn't have much problem. So you see, I'm not thinking too much. Vitu zinajiendesha tu, mimi nikaa nabebwa tu na neema. Today I would call it na neema. And that's why now during the wedding, mi niko bana, kama ni gari ya kumbeba, kuna best yangu hapo alisema hii Mercedes full tank, dereva kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni. Evening party, kuna mtu amesema iko kwangu, everything taken care. Your honeymoon, I'll take care of you. Where do you want to go? I didn't know where anywhere. I didn't know even what people. I just said, I look for, I don't like Mombasa. Most of my friends say Mombasa. Aliniuliza tu unataka kwenda wapi? Nikamwambia Arusha. And he was like, anytime. You want to fly or to kwenda na matatu? Kafikiria, nikamwambia she's saying the kamba in me. Akamwambia kufly ndana na ndege. So mwishowe nikamwendea, nikamwambia, alikuwa na shughuli, akaniambia okay, niliangalia bei ni this much, so I think this much will take care of the ticket nini, kunipea mi nani. Kaenda nikalipa nyumba miezi 3, nikashop. Sisi hapo tukaingia kwa kwa Pujot na Manga ndani, tukaingia Arusha. So I don't have anything. I don't have leisure here kwanza kwenda na ndege alafu nikuje kujifungia kwa house. Siwezi lipa. We got married. She was doing every shopping. So mambo ya events za harusi kwangu, it was like most of the things were taken. So sina ile kitu, nimetumia akili sana. Somebody was asking me, a friend of mine, when I told him I'm marrying so and so. He asked me, how much money do you have? From nowhere, I told that guy, she was actually a lady. I told her, I've prayed enough. I've prayed enough. Kwa nimelala go several nights fasting, praying. Yani niliomba mpaka nikasikia imefika. So when she asked me, how much money do you have to marry a Kikuyu from Nyeri? Na anajua sina job, niko flat, anajua jamii yetu. Kamba, I've prayed enough. And for sure, actually the money we raised during our pre-wedding, we went for honeymoon. Honeymoon was fully sponsored. Went for honeymoon, came back. Our wedding, the money we raised, we used like less than half, because most of the things, kama ni masuti, kama ni nini, they were taken care of. It's good to be born again. And I would tell my young friends that if you walk in the Lord, people build confidence in you. Even when you are young, people build confidence in you. They love you. They want to support you to go to the next level. They are looking forward for the great you to come. So I believe even if you don't have much money, your walk in the Lord already is enough investment. So during that time, I can't tell you what I felt like crying. I was just there. I have no feelings. I've just seen things happening. I've gone for honeymoon, come back. Life started now.